Okay, so we're recording. So hi, everybody. Welcome to Q and Microsoft Global Education Technology Seminars. We have had these going on for a few weeks. We took a hiatus when there was a lot of civil unrest because we felt like it was prudent and respectful not to have them. But now that hopefully we're getting back to normalcy, although I don't know if we'll ever see normalcy in 2020. We have started them up again this week. So excited to be with you. And I see you're from all different places. So if you're just arriving, go and put your in the chat there where you're from. Excited to have you here today. And it's Friday Eve. Yay. Although for some of us, every day is a Friday probably, or a Saturday or Sunday. But it's been an interesting time. So I am Julene Reed, and I am in Memphis. So I was looking at some of you from the southern part of the world. I was in Texas this weekend. My chat's over here when I'm looking. So I was in Texas this weekend in Tyler. I have a brother and sister in Austin and a dad in Tyler. I live in Memphis. I've been here a long time. I've been in education over 25 years, 10 years in elementary school and 17 years as director of academic technology for a middle school and high school, where we had one-to-one computing, one computer per child, for 17 years. So that we've been 20 years now. I've left the school to do full-time consulting. And we've been 20 years doing that one-to-one at that campus. And elementary, I was a second grade teacher for 6 years, science coordinator and tech coordinator for 3 years. So I had a lot of variety. I teach adjunct courses for Lamar University. So I teach master's students working on their principal certification. So there's that realm or that breadth of from young children all the way through higher ed. I've taught it or touched it in some way over all these years. And I'm a Microsoft Innovative Educator, excited to be here with you today and share some of these tips and tricks and ideas for forms. So I'm going to do a couple things first, just to kind of help you and make sure you're seeing well when we jump off to being live, because you can keep me big right now if you want to. What you might want to do, let me just share my screen so you can see my messy screen, and let me show you what to do. Stop sharing. Okay, so I'm going to share my whole window. This is what I'm in. Okay, so you should see that now. And so I'm showing my whole window because I want to show you how when we're here and we're working in, you're looking at me in the Meet, like maybe this is the Meet, and I don't want you to get that mirror effect where you're seeing everybody. But you can shrink this window somewhat, and whether you're in the browser Meet or Teams, or if you're in the web version, it doesn't matter. But I can shrink that window, and then I can still have a window off to the side. So this may be my window where I'm seeing the presentation. I'm not seeing it now because that's my Meet, but I would see the presentation on one side, and then maybe I have like another window where I'm logged into my OneDrive. So you'll want to do that eventually. You don't want to do it right this second necessarily, but when we go live, I would suggest you have me on one screen showing you what to do, and then your OneDrive or your window where you might be doing something in Forms with me on the other screen. Otherwise, they're going to be this big if you go off to Forms. So we want to make sure that's okay that you're able to do that. You can also have two tabs. If you're in the browser version of Teams, you can open another tab. So whichever way you prefer to do it, I just want to make sure you have a good visual of everything that's going on, especially when I get into the live process. For now, I'm just going to go and make this bigger so you can see it. So this is me, and like I told you, I'm in Memphis. And so we're going to talk today. This agenda is pretty brief, and but we're going to be doing a lot with it. Now, I won't be modeling everything. We'll be going in and doing some things, but there's a lot of material here to cover. So there'll be some things that I won't cover, but they'll give you ideas, I think. And I'm just going to mute a mic here. Hold on. Here's the mic. Turn it off. I think I just got it. There we go. Got it. Yeah, if your mic's open, please go on and mute it so that we can not pick up your dog barking or the doorbell ringing like it happens sometimes. Anyway, so we're going to use Forms, Microsoft Forms, and I love Microsoft Forms. I just think they have a million uses. I think it's an awesome tool for teachers to use professionally for their professional work, but it's also educationally with their students. And it doesn't matter what grade level you're at. I even have some ideas for the itty bitties. So all different kinds of ways to engage students, some fun things to do. We're going to do the options and demonstrate even more creative ways with little bitties, and then some questions and share time. So that's kind of how we've done this. So thinking about uses of forms, there are lots of ways you can use them. You can use them as a quick survey. We're ordering pizza on Friday. What's your favorite pizza? You know, so I can make sure I'm doing the right amount. Exit tickets. Did they understand what you just taught? Doing a check for understanding. Bell ringers, checking for last night's homework or coming up with something that's going to start the conversation in the class. Different kinds of blended learning, including the flipped classroom model, where they're completing forms and working through the forms related to a video they watched or related to something you had them do independently. Unit reviews. So at the end of a unit, let's do this. Take this and see how you do. And you can even put feedback that if they miss one, go back and read this chapter. So you can really think about how you're going to use that for a review process, and they'll know what topics they're weak on. Assessment, you can have self-grading quizzes. So the assessment works for that. Data analysis, you'll get lots of data on the back end. Lots of times we're teaching things that in the standards, it says to integrate math. You're going, how can I integrate math with that? With a survey or a form around it, you'll have so many opportunities to integrate math because it provides you with visuals and charts and graphs and things, but then you can immediately export it to Excel. So lots of data analysis there. If your kids are all going to be doing a research topic or they're going to keep track of their independent reading and you need to know what they're reading, forms will collect that and it'll let you know when somebody gives you a response. You don't have to check it all the time. Or they can submit the research topic. And then, so either one of those works as well. And it's a great social emotional check-in. Right now, the biggest thing our kids have suffered with is not being with their friends. And socially, emotionally, it's been difficult for them. So a quick form to say, how are you feeling today? How are things going? How are you doing with your work? Just kind of a check-in to see how they're doing is always really good. And as we're looking at these examples, I would love for you to share your examples. So think about things you've been doing that you love, that you'd like to share, and just, you know, open your mic and share it. And I also have the chat open, so if I go too fast or if you have a question or get lost, I'll try to watch the chat too. And if for any reason you need to, you know, if you want to just put in the chat, that's fine too. Like, how do we get the split screen? So let me show you one more time how I got that, because someone has that question. And it's, you know, you can do it two different ways. You can have a tab or you can have a split screen. I happen to be in PowerPoint on my desktop, and we'll talk about forms and things like that. I happen to be on PowerPoint on my desktop, and then I also have a window open from my browser. But I could also have just two browser windows open like this. So let me share my screen and show you. So let me get to where my meeting is. Over here one more time, and let me just show you my screen sharing. Make sure I'm showing, I think I was showing you, but I just want to make sure I'm showing the same thing. All right. I think you see it. So hold on, there it comes. Yeah, I'm watching over here to make sure I'm showing it. So this is just two browsers. You know, here's one browser window. And if it's taking up the whole page, you know, if your browser window is like taking over your whole page, just grab the bottom corner. Like right now, I can escape out of that, or I can go to the browser too, or hit this minimize, maximize button, and it makes it smaller. And then I can drag it over and, oops, I jumped up too fast. I'm trying to hide that. There we go. Then I can drag it over like this, just take it and drag that corner when it becomes the arrows and drag it up and down, or get that corner that's like this. It's kind of at an angle, and make it there. And then just move my other, whatever it is, my other window there. So they're side by side. Or I can have it in my tabs. And if I put this back in my tab here, then I can toggle from tab to tab and go back and forth if I need to. But that's not going to be as easy watching me and doing it at the same time. I just don't want you to get stuck like a couple people did one time when they were seeing the big window of the meeting, but they were actually only seeing an itsy bitsy screen of me presenting. So I don't want you to get stuck like that. Slovenia is here. Let's hear it in the house for Slovenia. Hi, Slovenia. You win the farthest away prize. Yes, from Slovenia. Awesome. Everybody's going to have to go Google and see where Sylvania actually is. Yeah, you're welcome. We're glad you're here. So lots of ways to share this. And I will tell you, I will share the presentation with you so you don't have to write things down. Don't have to take screenshots. Just enjoy the journey. And then I will share them with you. So I'm going to go back for a second and change the way I'm sharing right here. Get to where I am, right there. There we are. Let me pop it back up so I can stop the sharing and just make it on this window. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I think I can just make it big. I don't want to toggle you and make you sick. There you go. So we're going to look at some examples first. We're going to get in there. We're going to play hands-on, but I'm going to give you some examples. As we're doing this, if there's something that comes to your mind that's a great idea you'd like to share with you, we'd love that. So please share with us if you'd like to. So one thing is just fun surveys. You know, during distance learning and everything we're doing, make it about fun sometimes. Just make it about fun, do something of interest. And like I said, you might do your favorite pizza, your favorite ice cream. So just a quick one. This takes you like 1 minute to make. And in fact, you get to tell me right now, which of these flavors is your favorite ice cream? So if you'll open a browser tab or a browser window, and just take this URL, bit.ly/Q ice cream, then we'll be able to see what your favorite ice cream is. And I'm going to go over and get it open where I can see it while you're doing it. So I actually have it here. And I will see the responses coming in. So again, the URL is right there on the right side. And I'll just make it big for you. I just want to get mine ready. So let's put our favorite ice cream in. How do you make a bit.ly? Easy question. Go to bit.ly.com and paste in a URL that you want, that you're going to be using. And when you paste it in, you do create, you make an account, do create, and you paste in that long URL, and then it gives you a short one, but you can take the back of it and customize it. So I customized it to be Q ice cream. And then you can save it, and you'll have a list of all your bit.ly bit.ly customized, unique URLs. Yes, sometimes that URL is not available. So you'll have to get creative sometimes and play with your words and get it kind of moved around. That's a great thing, a great tool. So let's see how many we have who have posted their favorite ice cream. I want to see how many responses I have here. So let's make sure you're in it. Oh, it logged me out. Of course it did. Here we go, 21 responses. 21 responses, and we're going to give you 1 more minute to tell me your favorite ice cream, and then we're going to go on and see what it shows us. So even just doing it for fun, simple things like this, take nothing to make. And so when I'm making my questions, if you haven't done this, a lot of you I'm sure have done forms in Google or forms in Microsoft, and they're almost the same. They just have a little bit of navigation difference. And if you're in your district domain or tenant, you probably don't have to put their names for your students. It'll collect that automatically. But then I've made my questions, and all of these where you just picked one. There was one response. So when I get my responses, they're over here on the right, responses. And this is the part I love. Look at the math that popped in here. I can instantly say most of you like mint chocolate chip. Yay for that. 8 of it. 6 like strawberry, 4 like coffee, and 3 like vanilla. So that gives us that data. And then I can look soft serve or hand dip. I'm with you, hand dip. Way to go. So just a fun little one to see the responses that you can get, and know that whatever you do, when you're in here, you can also go with more details by names for each question. I can go with more details for responses for each question. So you can even drill down into it. In addition, I can open it in Excel. And we're going to do things besides the basic form, but I just wanted to show you some of the basic things. Yes, you can share the link with a form instead of using a bit.ly. Absolutely. You can embed it that way. Just makes it an easy way to type. Anytime you can just have a hyperlink, a hot link, that's even better. So here's my responses, and I just clicked. I wasn't paying attention. Let's see if it opened Excel. Open in Excel. Let's see. Oh, it's down here. That's what happens when I look away. It's downloaded, and I now have my data. So instantly I have some data, and I can sort it and analyze. I can sort these alphabetically and just see exactly, whatever I want with the filter. I can do all kinds of fun stuff with this. So have data, make charts out of it. I can do tables and charts. So I can do all kinds of things here. But what I want you to see here is always thinking, if you haven't done these much, if you have not been creating forms, always think of the end in mind. So when you're making a form, remember, if you're going to analyze data, it's going to come out on a spreadsheet. So think with your end in mind. For instance, if I were going to do this and share this with families, and I just put name, I couldn't sort by first name, last name. So I need to make sure that I'm thinking this is going to show up in a spreadsheet. I don't want to do like a 3-paragraph essay because it would be reading it in a cell. So you want to think about that it'll either be that quick little summary chart that you can look at, which I absolutely love, or it'll be in a spreadsheet. So that was just a quick little example for you there. Let's go on and move on to the next one. I just wanted you to see how quick and easy, you can pull up different kinds of things and get your forms going. I have to see where I put my PowerPoint. Here it is. So back to the PowerPoint, they all look like the same. They were all ice cream. I couldn't figure out where I was. Think about open houses. Remember those when we used to have those, where you had room mothers and someone who, different jobs, field trip drivers, whatever. So you can create forms for that. And you can also embed your contact form on a website if you wanted to on a web page. That's actually what I have on my julenereed.com site. It's just a contact me form. And I've set it up so it notifies me if somebody fills it out. I'll get an email notification. And so I haven't put my address out on the web. And I can also have some data validation where it makes sure that it's validating certain data, but I can make a QR code. So if I want to have this available for parents on Open House, if we get to have that, they would go up and scan that QR code and it would open the form. They don't have to have the link. And for your babies, sometimes if they have tablets or something, those QR codes are awesome too. And then creating a story, create a story for class, come up with a story start. Once upon a time, let's brainstorm the name is. Let's kind of like create it together. Were they happy? Were they, all of this? And we can take the storytellers and can create a story from all those responses. So everybody could give us our story ideas. And then we open up that spreadsheet and compare the ideas or the survey and see what they come up with. And we'll make a collaborative story that way. So lots of creative ways. I loved this one when we used to have basketball. I keep talking like it's all dead. But when we had basketball in the United States, if you don't know in Slovenia, in the United States, we have for college basketball what's called the Sweet 16. So the best 16 teams in a division in the country come together to play basketball. And one of the teachers I was working with here in Memphis at a school was really getting excited, but she made a tournament of books that they were reading. So their Sweet 16 were books. And then they'd vote on what their favorite books were out of each pair, like picking their winners. And they had their elite 8. And then they got to the final 4, and then they had their winner. She even drew brackets on her walls, on her bulletin board. She even had brackets up there, and she did it like a real basketball chart with the brackets in the competition. So doing it to things, doing some fun things with it in real life, and then kind of adapting it there. And looking at student-generated ones. Maybe they're making some surveys too. This was just for fun, but maybe it's a research project. Maybe they're interviewing people for a research project and they're gathering data. So students can also use surveys to collect data, which is a good one. Here's kind of a fun one. How well do you know your sports around the world? And so you can do fun ones like this as well. So lots of good ideas. Prove you're a John Lennon fan. These are both found on the web, or you could just copy them and use them. Prove you're a John Lennon fan by answering these questions. And then Canada, we don't have Slovenia, but we have Canada, where they're checking their facts. And so that's a good review, or kind of a good, it could be something you just see, kind of see their background knowledge before you study a country or before you study a topic. I'm going to see what your background knowledge is so I know where I need to start. I'm using this right now, some training I'm doing, and I'm training teachers in districts all over Texas right now. And so I need to know their background knowledge. How well do they know these tools before I start teaching them? Because if they all know it, that's not the best use of their time. And then you can take this. I love this idea too. If you've ever used anything like Wordle or any other kind of cloud word processing thing where you take words that you enter them somewhere, such as in a 10 words to help you think about winter. And then you take those words, you just copy that column out of that spreadsheet and paste it into a cloud generating program like word cloud, like Wordle. And whatever word is most frequent will be the biggest. It's a quick way to see what were they thinking, what is there. We did this even in the cafeteria once where all the students, out of 700 students put their 3 favorite foods. We copied and pasted them through into Wordle and instantly we knew what their 3 favorite foods were without having to analyze the data, because it takes the frequency of the word and makes them bigger. So the biggest word, winter. Next one were icy snow, cold snowman. And then the next ones would be frosty, chilly, hot chocolate. And then moving on down. So that's always a fun one. And you can collect those words about anything using a Microsoft form. And like we said, use it for your back to school night, or just even, I need to know your cell phone number. I know it's in the district or in school's records, but just as a teacher, I want to know how to contact you for different things. So gathering that kind of information. And then a KWL activity. What do you know? What do you want to learn? What is it What are you questioning? What's your question? And what do you want to learn? So thinking about that. So here's one that was developed for MLK. What is one fact you learned? What do you know? What do you wonder? And what would you like to learn? And things for a quick assessment. World War II, important events. And notice you can change the backgrounds here. So we can do that too and make it relevant. We can put a lot of different things in the background. So thinking about, how you can do these assessments for quizzes, because they have self-grading quizzes that we can look at too. And so lots of ways you can use this for assessment. And someone said, you guys know the answergarden.ch simple poll showing words bigger and bigger with each same answer, and Minty.com. There you go. Y'all are helping each other. Great ideas. Planets of the solar system. And on this one, they're watching a video. So you can use things like Edpuzzle or something and embed questions into videos. You can also use your form. And in your form, they'll watch the video and then they'll answer questions about it. Or you can embed an image like Monet's Lily Garden here. And so always remember it's media rich. You can put media in here too. So it can be videos, it can be images, whatever works for you for what your goals are. This is another example for flipped and blended learning where they watch this weather versus climate video, and then they go on and they do a self-grading quiz on the video. As we're doing more and more distance learning and blended learning and remote learning, we need to have accountability. How do we know we really watched that video that we assigned? So this gives you some accountability. And then I have a quick one that I'm going to show you from Memphis Trivia, because that's where I am today. I'm in Memphis. And the Mississippi River is nowhere near as blue as that picture indicates. Just know that it's called the Muddy Mississippi. That's not because it's blue. So we're going to see what you know about Memphis Trivia. And it's okay if you miss it. No internet search is allowed. And so here is that quiz. So if you'll open yet another window or another tab, we're going to see what you know about Memphis Trivia. And this is a self-grading one. And this just set us up before we go in and do a self-grading one. I'll give you all some time to answer that one. Make sure you get there. It's bit.ly again, bit.ly, and then Memphis Trivia. And I think I have our form already. Yes, I do. So I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to give you a second while you do that. Oh, Janetta, yeah, that would be cheating. If you live in Memphis, you can't. Well, you can do wrong answers. That's okay. And when it says famous for musicians from Memphis are, I've actually fixed this on some that are associated from Memphis because maybe they're not from Memphis, but they're associated because they've lived here or lived near here. So I have to give you that caveat. I fixed it on some, I haven't fixed it on all because I actually got challenged once, like in a very happy way. I was like, well, you know, you're kind of right. So let me see what we have going on here. Let me refresh it and see if it'll come in. Probably. There we go. I should hide these answers so that you don't see them, even though we don't know yet which ones are right. One of the cool things about forms is you can shuffle the answer order. So if we have A, B, C, D, maybe A is right on mine, but on the one person next to me, C is right on theirs. You can also shuffle the question order so that not everyone has question one may be different for everyone. That won't work if your question needs to be done in a linear fashion, if your quiz or summary needs to be done in a linear fashion, but it does work for other things. So we'll see if we can get a couple more. I'm having to refresh, so just FYI. Usually it loads right away and I see it, but I have two computers streaming right now in Teams. But usually it's dynamic and you'll see them all coming in, but as I refresh, it's coming on, see. So I'll give you one more minute and then we'll look at our answers. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong one. Hello. All right, we have 18. I think I'll move on here. This is a good sample of our research. It was a very serious research project. So let's see how we did. Most of you thought it was Beale Street, and that was the correct answer. Good job. So who can tell me where Bourbon Street is? Open your mic and tell me.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's where I grew up. And for our friends in Slovenia, probably everybody has a Broadway and a Fifth Avenue, but most of the, that's going to normally be in New York when you think of that. And the Michigan Avenue is in Chicago, the Magnificent Mile. And then we have some graph too. So here we go with this one. Harry Connick is from New Orleans. Justin T is from the Memphis area. Elvis, of course, was Graceland. Blake Shelton, you're close, about 2.5 mile drive from my house. He's from Nashville. And B.B. King was from here. Good job. And then what foods do you think of when you think of Memphis? So here is one where we could post those into a word cloud. And see, I see lots of barbecue. So I think barbecue would win there. So I have that one too. And then what disease nearly wiped out the population of Memphis in the 1800s? So you know what, my yard guys here, I've got to give them the key to unlock the gate. Sorry, hold on, give me a second. So sorry, it's one of the yard guys. He's waving at me at the window like, what do I do? So anyways, what foods do you think of? And then what disease? And that was yellow fever that almost wiped us out. So it certainly wasn't COVID. So yellow fever did that. So again, we have responses. So this was a self-grading quiz. And so with this one, I could actually go in and I could see the average score is 6.1. The status is active, 19 responses. I can review the answers. I can post the scores and see how everybody did. And we didn't care if you were right or wrong, and you would have had your names there. So it's a really good tool to use for a quick quiz or a quick assessment of some type, or for review. You've missed these questions, go back and review this parts of your text before the exam. And yes, Laurel, I love this for graphs. Lots of things with graphs. It's really super for that. And so let me move ahead, and then I'll let you give some ideas you might have. And so we're going to go look at self-grading quizzes. Before we do, though, anybody see anything that brought up something that you're doing that you love to share, like an idea of how you use Microsoft Forms that's been really engaging and good with your kids, or how you use it professionally? You can just open your mic and share it. Good question. Anybody want to share some things they've done? So Immersive Reader is almost everywhere. I'm not sure it's in here. I don't see it here. So I'm not sure. Anybody ever use Immersive Reader with forms? Because I'm not seeing it.
Just mouse over and you'll see.
There it is there. Mouse over where? Oh, there it is. Thank you. You taught me something today, and I love, love, love Immersive Reader. So if you haven't used that before, just a quick one. Microsoft is putting Immersive Reader everywhere. And so if you play it, it's going to read it to you. And I can adjust the settings right down here with voice selection, female and male. I can change, for those of us who have visual problems, I can change the different kinds of fonts and text size. Lots of things I can do with Immersive Reader in those situations while you might be looking at syllabication, or use it as parts of speech. And for those who need translation, awesome for translation here. It'll translate it for me, the whole page or the whole quiz, and they can hear it in their own language read to them, or they can view it in their own language. And Picture Dictionary, if you've never seen Picture Dictionary, I love Picture Dictionary. I don't know. There's first. It'll say it to you. There you go, name. And it'll show you a picture. So if you've not used Immersive Reader, I didn't realize it was right here, but I saw it the minute I went to the mobile. I saw it there. So you can get the app. So kids can have the app and be using this on their app too. And parents can just scan it or whatever and have it, with a QR code, and they can use it when they're in your classroom. So I love that. And thanks for the answer. Because I wasn't sure, and I will tell you, I don't know everything about everything, but I try. Anybody else have ideas of things they're doing with forums that they'd like to share? Signing up for training, PD assessment, pre-test. You guys are putting some great ideas in the chat. I love all these. Good job. All righty. If you don't have anything you want to share, just step up and talk whenever you want during this, because we're a rather small group. So for self-grading quizzes, the part you'll have to make sure you do, we're going to do this together. How many points do you want each question to be? You can assign 0. For instance, name would be 0 points. But for the part you're wanting to assess, it needs to have points. And you'll also need to choose what is the correct answer. So if it's a multiple choice, it would have 1 correct answer. There are ways to make a multiple choice, a choices option, which has multiple right answers. And the way you can tell is anything that's multiple choice with 1 answer is a round button right here. And anything that's multiple choice with several right answers, and in Google that's called checkboxes, would have square icons. So there's some similarities there. So you can do that. You'll have your data analysis again, same thing, everything about what you did. And then you can open it in Excel. So you have lots of ways to analyze it. And my favorite one is just those quick graphs, just that quick visual. For some kids, seeing that visual is so much more important. I know I saw a graph with COVID. How many graphs are there out there? But it was showing the ups and the downs and comparing it to other diseases. And it made it, people who would say, yeah, but the flu's already been bad. Well, if you see the flu is seasonal and it's a gradual, where COVID went straight up. And so that was like, now I get it. Now I get the differences. That visual was really big to me. And then you have all these different kinds of data points you can analyze, conditional formatting to see who's doing well, whatever. And like I said, this poor girl, the social emotional check-in is so important. And so just checking in. I miss you all so very much. How you feeling today? And of course, you wouldn't want to do this at a grade level that's appropriate. If this were elementary or maybe middle you could get by, but high school, you might want to refine a little bit. Just have to see, your classroom, your students, your culture. So doing something fun just to check in with them. Are you stuck? How's the homework going? How's the assignment? What are the issues you're having? Anything else? And I always talk about with distance learning, make it fun. Have fun Friday, crazy hat day, sports day, whatever. And so it's like thinking about joke day or something you want to share to make it fun. So lots of ways you can use that just for that social emotional piece. So we're going to go live now. So I'm going to back out the presentation. I'm going to move it over so I can still see. And we're going to go live. Let me just get to where we are in the presentation. And here we go. So what I want you to remember, I told you, and if you joined late, because I saw a few of you come in late, you'll want to be sure, and you have my full screen still, I think. So you'll want to resize your windows, like make one window small and make your other windows small and get them next to each other so that you can see both what I'm presenting. I always drag it too far and it pops in. What I'm presenting, and you can also see your other screen, because you're going to go to forms now. So have two windows, because I don't want you looking at me like a postage stamp, which somebody did the other day. They had missed the first part, and then they were like, I couldn't see anything you were doing because you were like a postage stamp. Yeah, I'll show you how to add a link or a video or an image. I create a form for missing a late work instead of receiving too many emails during online learning. Maybe I should use that with my grad students. That's an awesome idea. And then you have that track. You don't have, I love that, because I have to go back when I'm grading my grad students and think, they didn't turn their work in. Why didn't they turn it in? Because I have 60 students right now, and I have to go back and, do I have an email from them? Because I don't remember every single one of what they've written me sometimes. Self and peer evaluation. You guys have great ideas. Don't be shy to open your mics. Student preferences, yeah. Seating, all kinds of cool ideas in the chat. I love that. Thank you for sharing those. So we're going to get rid of this. We've done Memphis trivia. I have not done that. So what you are going to do now, and I'm going to go on and take up my whole screen with this part. So let me get it down where I can see my big button. And so lots of ways to get the forms, and this is very basic. So I'm trying to take you through some more advanced things and some basic things. You can get there through your portal, whatever you use for your district, whatever you're using there. I also have the application launcher, which looks like our waffle or our grid in the top left-hand corner here. So if I click on that, forms will usually be one of these. If it's not, there it is right there. If it's not, I could go to all apps and find it. Another way I could get to this is forms.microsoft.com. So either way, any of those ways, we're all going to end up in the same place pretty much. So if I go here and I go to forms, this is in OneDrive. I'm in Office 365. I can go to forms right there.
Go outside and pick up your things real quick, because there's a storm coming.
I don't know what the storm is, but make sure your mic's muted. We hope the storm's okay. Just mute your mic. It's so fun to hear people talk. Anyway, so create a form for missing late work. Okay, we did that. I was just thinking about it. All righty. So what you have the option for here, you can use just a standard form, or you can do a quiz. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to do a quiz. We're going to go on and do the quiz because you'll learn the standard through this, but know that you don't have to have a quiz for this. It could just be a regular survey, doesn't need to be a quiz, it's totally fine. So in time's sake, looking at the clock, and we have 20 minutes, I'm going to do a quiz. So one thing I want you to know, if you're ever looking at forms, here's my forms. And you're going, I know they shared a form with me, because you can share forms and you can collaborate on them with a coworker. They would be under shared with me. And group forms would be under groups. So you have lots of ways to look at that. So I'm going to go on and I'm going to hit new quiz. And this is my quiz. So let me think what our quiz can be about today. We'll make it about the 4th of July. How about that? Can you believe that's just around the corner? And for you in Slovenia, you may pick your holiday of choice, but you can make one you can really use today. Lots of times when I'm working with students and teachers and training, I just do fun things at first because it's more important to learn the tool initially and get expertise in using the tool and being comfortable. And then you integrate it. Then you apply the next part. So this is a great way to get started with your students at the beginning of a school year, finding what they like, how many brothers and sisters, anything you want to collect data on to start that getting to know you kind of thing. So it's just kind of a fun way for that too. So 4th of July, and what do you know? We're just going to say, what do you know about the 4th of July? Over here, where you see this icon, and let me see if I can make that bigger for you. I'm seeing this real big. There we go. Over here where this icon is, I can click that. And now I can either use a Bing image search, and those will be Creative Commons, or I can go to OneDrive and pull up something from my OneDrive, or I can upload something from my computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Bing image search. I'm just going to type in 4th of July. Now we can't put a video here. This is our title. So there's only an image here. Here's what I like. I'm going to click it and I'm going to add it. So here comes my 4th of July image. And you're probably thinking, that looks good, but I don't like all this green stuff. We'll take care of that in a minute, this green blue. It's your Independence Day. Igor, awesome. Congratulations. Happy Independence Day. So what do you know? This is actually just a description, that I would have written there since I'm writing this. This is a knowledge check on this holiday. I'm just making something up. You get the idea. Okay, next I would just add new. Now, you can do first name, last name, and collect it that way. But if they're in your tenant, you can set this to automatically collect their names. So I'm going to skip it. Well, I'm going to show you because there's a quick trick here I'm going to show you. Add new. I'm going to check either choice, text, rating, date, or there are even more over here. So we're going to do text. You want to make sure it's required. And if it's just a name, like first name, last name, you do regular. If it's going to be longer, like 4 or 5 sentences, you would do long answer. So I'm just going to put first name just to be fast. Now there's no correct answer here. There's no points. But see this little icon up here that looks like next on the left of the trash can, a recycle bin? That's a duplicate. So you can duplicate things really fast, if I spell first right. And now I should be able to just hit duplicate. And now actually I've done it twice. Let me throw that. So there's first name. I didn't fix the spelling there. It would drive me crazy. All right, it duplicated. I have the exact same settings. It's required, it's short answer, it's text. And when you're doing a lot of these, it comes in really happy. Duplicate this, really handy. Duplicate this, duplicate that. And you'll just keep duplicating until you need to change something. So there you go. So we didn't have any there. I just wanted to show you the duplicate, even though you don't have to do that. Remember, we have short text and long text. I'm going to add a new one that's a choice question. I'm going to say which song, I'm not going to type it out, is associated with the 4th of July. And we'll just pretend like I finished it. This time, I'm going to go back to my little image and look what I did now. Because I'm in a question, I can actually add an image or a video. So this time, I'm going to add a video. And I can paste a YouTube URL here or a Microsoft Stream URL. So I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to look for 4th of July or Star Spangled Banner or whatever, just quick. Come on, let me do it. There we go, epic, well, we want the epic version, whatever that is. We could have done karaoke. Epic trailer, we'll just pick that. No, oh, hit us, that scares me. Here's some orchestra. We'll just do that one for fun. This one has the words and information about it. Yeah, let's do this one. Of course, you would be researching these and looking them ahead of time. I'm just going to do that one for fun. I can play it, but what I really want to do is just go get that share link. When I go to share, I can copy the link. So I have a video. I go underneath it. I click share right here. I get that link and I copy it. I can even tell it when I want to start if I want to start a certain part. So once I've copied it, now I'm back in my form and I just paste that link. There's my link. I add that to my form. There's my video. So now I've put my video there. They're going to watch it, and I'm going to say, what is this song, or what did I have up here? Which song is this? So I would put America the Beautiful, or I would put Star Spangled Banner. And I keep adding options, and we could put, I don't know, let's just put something silly. Faith of Our Fathers. I don't know. I haven't thought of that song in 100 years. Anyway, so now I have my 3 songs. I need to tell this quiz. This is a self-grading quiz. So now which is the right answer? And I need to mark it. That's the right answer. So that's my correct answer. I can also, if you look at these little text bubbles, chat bubbles that pop up, I can actually give a response. The people who select A, America the Beautiful, I could give them a response. So think about differentiating instruction. Think about instant responses, instant feedback. They have instant feedback. So now I can say, go check page whatever, 33. And then for this one, I could say something like, great job, you've got it. So I can give answer feedback on each one of these. But the one thing I have to do is assign points. Make sure I've given the right answer and I've assigned points. Those are critical. Are there multiple answers, or is only one right answer? Only one, and it's required. And anytime you see 3 little dots, over here I see 3 little dots, that tells you there's other things. So I want to shuffle the options. I'm going to shuffle those options because I don't want everybody to have this first option, which is number 2 or B, whatever it ends up being in the final one, is the right answer for you, but it might be this one's the right answer for the person next to me. Anyway, then we just go on. I'm not going to do any others. I just want you to see you have ratings, and rating would be like on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. And do I want to be stars or numbers? And that's like a Likert scale. That's what you want to do. And if you do that one, make sure to say in your comments, make sure to say, again, 1 is the best or 5 is the best. 5 is with 5 being the best. So under that little question that you might have, when you write a question, you have the ability to add some details to that question. And so you would want to add details to that so they understand that it would be a subtitle here, those 3 dots. And with that subtitle, you're going to tell them, make sure they understand which is which, because I've given surveys when they marked them backwards. If it has more than one answer, make sure it's very clear. Check all that apply and put in a capital letters, because they won't do that right either half the time. So that's enough. I want you to see that. So you kind of learned how to make a form, how to make a self-grading quiz. I think we have 10 points here. I guess we should have added one more question. So, we could do that. You have other options here. You have a ranking. You can upload a file. You can put sections, which we'll talk about in a minute. And let's just do a text for 10 points just to have another one. And we'll just pretend like I told her to answer something. And we'll make this be a long answer. And then they're writing something here. We're just making it easy. And I can keep adding images and videos all I want. But I need to give that points. So now my quiz is worth, if I look at the top, 20 points. The next thing is your theme. So make sure you go to theme, because now you can make it cute. And you can pick any theme here, or you can click the plus, and you can customize with images that you can get from different places, or you can also upload your own. So now my theme's going to look really cute. I can change the colors here for my theme. So instead of that, I have to have the hex number, but I can change that. And so I've done that. That looks really nice. And the last thing is preview it. Every time I preview mine, I find an error, and there's our Immersive Reader right there. I find a typo, so always preview it. And there's your quiz. How do you share it? Just go to share, send and collect responses, and this is critical because if you send it to people like your parents, you don't want it to be only your organization. It needs to be in with the link, or they'll say it wants me to log in. I can't get to it. Copy it. I have a QR code here I could use. I could download it. I could also, let me go back and share again. Oh, I was down there. I can also embed it and I can email it. I can get a link to duplicate it. So if I want to keep duplicating it for different sections and have the data be separate, I can duplicate it. I can get a link for people to share it, work with me. That would be the collaborate link. So those are those options. And then anytime, again, like I said, when you have these three dots, that's your settings. Option for a quiz, show the results automatically or not. You can fill out the form, accept responses. You can tell it when to open, when to close, shuffle the questions. We shuffled the responses. Now we can shuffle the questions. And for parents, customize your thank you menu, or they'll fit that message, or they'll fill it out 3 times because they're not sure you got it, or they'll call you and email you. And if you want to, if you were doing this for independent reading, and every time they read a book, it emails you and said, Johnny filled out his independent reading form, it'll email you. So you don't have to keep going to check it. You can just see what they're doing. So that's forms, and then my responses would be over here after I've done it. So I wanted to go through that one with you with quizzes. So we know how to do quizzes, and I want to stop for a second and see if we have any questions, or if you have anything that it creates a QR code automatically when you share it. Creates it automatically. So when you go to share, right here, if you go down here, it says QR code, and then you just download it. So I'm looking at your other questions. Yep, you can make it in Teams and have it right there in your chats. It's really easy in your conversations or in your team or in your assignments. You can do that. And you can share the link then with that top button. Good job, everybody. And thank you. I love how you're helping each other. That's awesome that you're helping each other. So good job. All right. So any questions or comments on that? You can open your mic and share that if you'd like to. Good. It will work within Schoology. Also has their own form. So it will work in Schoology. I'm working in the district now. Some call it Schoology, some call it Schoology. I always call it Schoology, but however you pronounce it, they have their own form embedded in there. I don't know the capacity it has, but you can use that embed code and copy that embed code. So when you share, if you have an LMS and you want to go here, that's your embed code. And I would just copy this code, and I can go to Schoology or Schoology and go into it and go on. There's a way to insert code, embed code, and then it'll just be embedded in your Schoology. You'll still need to get the results out of forms, but it'll make it easier for you there. Yep, that's good. You're welcome. I actually know that answer. Amazing. All righty, so our next job, let me find it, is have you ever made a branching quiz? And this is great for like choose your own ending. So you come to the rainforest and your car breaks down. What are you going to do to get home? I'm going to take a canoe. I'm going to go down this path. And they can create really interactive stories. This is also good for differentiation. You know, if they answer the first couple of questions, you're going to take them to a different quiz because now they're more advanced. You're going to tell them what to do, where to go next, what their next assignment is, whatever information. If they have problems, you're going to send them a different direction for review. So you can differentiate instruction that way. I don't know that there's a limit. I don't think there's a limit of how many. And whether you use a link or QR code or embed is up to you and what it looks like on your whatever you're doing to host it. So what I'm going to do now, though, I'm going to give you some reading and show you how you do a branching quiz. So let me show you what this looks like. So let's say that for summer, they're either going to read Harry Potter or Moby Dick. Everybody who reads Harry, we want them to go answer the questions on Harry. Everyone who reads Moby, we want them to answer the questions on Moby. So if I do this right now, we'll just do preview. I'm going to pretend like I'm taking it. If I read Harry, I click here. I read Harry Potter. Next, did he drive a taxi? Did he ride a taxi or on a broom? I'm going to say broom, and I'm going to submit it. Done. I can view the results if I have those open to me, but I'm going to go back again. I'm going to preview again, and I always test these. Moby, and then I'll say submit. What kind of animal was Moby? He was a whale. Submit. So see how it's taken me? Oh, I had it set so only one response per person, but you can adjust that. So you get the idea of what a branching quiz does, and it can be very creative where they have different options or anything that you want like that, like build a story, pick your own ending. So lots of cool ways to use this. So how do you make a branching quiz? So once again, we want to go to forms, and you can go right here and hit forms. When you're in a form, just hit forms, and we'll do a quiz again. And so we're starting a new one, and we're just going to put summer reading. And now I could give lots of descriptions. And now I'm going to put the first question, choice. Which book? I'm doing it really quickly. Which book? And because we're running out of time. Okay, Harry. Stay with me, we'll do this, and then we'll go back to the slides and finish up. And I could keep going, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to do this one. I'm not going to do the points. I'm just going to do it for you. So for this one, it's a choice on animal for Moby. And actually what I need to do, let me go back. Let me delete it, because what I need to do now is, I'm just trying to hurry, add a new, and what I want to do is I want to add a section. So I want a section that's all Harry questions. And then I have questions for Harry here. This is going to be, how did he get around? Broom, taxi. And I can keep adding my questions now to this section, or I can come back to it later. Now I'm going to add another section, and this one's going to be Moby. And then I add a question, and this one is choice. And I say whale. Now, which kind of animal? And I say whale, and I say fish, dolphin. All right, that's it. Now, the one thing that's a little tricky, and I would mark my right answers and all of that. So I've made my quiz now, and it's ready to roll. So here's my book. What I want to do here, click here. Required, I want it to be required and all of that. On my very first one, this is my very first question, which book? I hit those three dots and I say add branching. When I add branching, now it says which book, and then how do I know where they go? If they choose Harry, they go to the Harry Potter section. If they choose Moby, they go to the Moby section. When they're done with that, then they're just going to go to their sections there. When they finish this question, like when Harry's all done, then they need to go to the end of the form. Otherwise, they're going to go into Moby. When Moby's all done, he should automatically go to the end of the form. In Google, he goes into the form. Here we have to tell them. So you're getting the idea, and then if we preview it, if I go back and I preview it, you'll get the idea. Here's my Harry, here's Harry, next, same thing. So that's how you do the branching. I'm going to come back here now. I think we did most of the live things. I just wanted to show you. So let me just get through these last slides of ideas, and you can email me for the presentation. So we've done that. Other uses, summer reading, math assessments. They have some great tools in here. And when you're working in a question here, let's just, for fun, go back. Because when you're here and you go to enter a question, if you select math here, you will suddenly get some great equations and create great equation keyboards and things. That's not a math question, so it's not working, but it's awesome for math. You would just select that. So coming back to my PowerPoint again, math assessments, individualization, and differentiation, choose your own adventure, scavenger hunts on the web, amazing geo race I'll show you, a quick shout out, escape and breakout rooms, perfect for that. And remember we talked about feedback, we talked about summer reading. Here's that math, how you can see how that's going to bring in your different kinds of math symbols you can use. And there's one you can play with on your own. Look at the math one and see how it does that. Here's some examples of a choose your own adventure. Do not go in there. I love this one because you have a haunted house and you have to decide if you should go in there or not. And that's a fun one that you can actually find on the web. And this tells you how to make your own, choose your own ending with the link to it, because I love that. Basing geo race, they're using Google Earth, and they're getting into teams and they're answering questions using Google Earth. That's a really fun one. Around the world scavenger hunt for global competencies is the word I'm looking for. So thinking about that, watching something from the news that's current and responding to it, and then even for your little biddies. All kinds of great ideas for little biddies, like a thumbs up, thumbs down, watch a video, pick kind of food that matched it. They get their favorite book and see who liked it the most and get their graph. Making text predictions, what's going to happen next, do you think? And then putting it all together, and there's a link to Kinder homework. Woo, we did it. So you're so welcome. So here is, thank you all. And here, if you go there, you can request the Prezo slides. So if you go, I used to do emails and it was making me crazy. So if you go to bit.ly/Q Prezo and fill out that form, I will send you the PDF of the slides. That's an easy one. Answering 100 emails to do it was not an easy one, but this is an easy one. I'm happy to do it. So I hope that gave you some ideas. Yeah, I hope that was good. That gave you some ideas, taught you how to branch if you didn't know how to branch, helped you think about quizzes if you haven't done that. But it's an awesome tool. I love it for 100 different ways. Stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. Happy Independence Day to Slovenia. Happy 4th of July to those in the U.S. And happy summer or winter, wherever you are. And glad you joined us today. Know that we have a lot more going on at q.org/Microsoft. So q.org/Microsoft. Go on and check out the sessions coming. And we would love to have you join us anytime. I'm glad our sabbatical is over and that we are all working happily again, and that we're getting used to the normal. It's our new abnormal. It's not really normal. But we're all kind of adjusting and adapting as best we can. So stay safe. Thanks for coming. And I hope that you'll join me again on another session. Have a great weekend. It is the weekend everywhere. I'm good about that one. Almost starting tomorrow. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye. I'm going to stop the recording.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.